Hello and welcome to the Gamers Health live stream, where Rach and I, my lovely wife, talk about things that impact our lives, your lives, as gamers. So where are we going to start this week? I don't want to start deep in the weeds. I'll hold the deep in the weeds part for after this, but we actually did something that we have been meaning to do for a while. We did it actually yesterday.
Since we were vaccinated, we wanted to do it.
Well, we wanted to do it before then, but because we weren't
needed to be vaccinated.
See, like there are two types of medical professional services that I think in the world of COVID are kind of the places that you aren't rushing out to see. One is a dentist, but then again, I'll be honest with you, I'm never rushing out to see a dentist unless
it's always like you go and it hurts kind of thing,
right?
Or that's how I was.
I always even a good dentist I hate.
Yes,
but we had to go see the eye doctor, not just the ophthalmologist, not just the optometrist, the ophthalmologist, which we finally did yesterday. And I guess the best part about it was we could walk. It was a nice walk. I got my walking time there and back in, even though I was half blind coming back because my eyes were dilated. But as a type 2 diabetic, this is something that I'm supposed to be doing, at least on a yearly basis. I hadn't gone since July, August of 2019. So
yeah, we kind of went around the same time back then.
Right. So I went, Rach went, we saw the same office. We saw a different ophthalmologist. In my case, prescription changed just a little bit, corrected. I'm just going to be just a hair off of 2020. Excellent. However, I have to go see a retinal specialist because as a type 2 diabetic, and if you are diabetic, this shouldn't be a surprise to you. I do have some bleeding to the back and I guess the retina area. It isn't a large amount. However, if untreated for a long amount of time, could lead to another blood vessel, which could lead to the need for a medical procedure to remove it because it can affect your vision. I have cataracts starting. I knew that from my last visit. They don't seem to have gotten any worse, but it's not going to be monitored. And apparently I got a floater in my left eye. Hasn't caused me any issues.
Was he able to see that from the picture that they took?
No,
there was a floater.
No,
they have to dilate you to.
He had to dilate me to see because apparently they can take this picture with a new machine that they just got in, and it's not covered by insurance, but they charge you $19 to take a picture of your eye. But apparently, I blinked too much, and it wasn't a clear.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's why they had to dilate. Otherwise, they could have possibly avoided dilating my eyes. But you know what? In for a penny, in for a pound. By the way, I love the fact that even though I turned off the green screen, do you see what's happening with our desk chair? Because it has the green background. It has turned into the.
What is that thing? Is it candles on there?
Yeah. That's the fake bar scene that I usually have as my background. So that's pretty funny. Yeah, I know. Go figure that one out. So that's how my appointment went, and so my. Unions plan, even though I'm retired, I have lifetime benefits through my union. Not everything is covered. I'm getting 2 pairs of glasses. I'm going to wear them every day. I think total was like $750, $800 for 2 pairs of glasses. I got progressives. I got transitions. I got ultra thin. I got frames, and it adds up. So Rach also had to see. Actually, Rach also got a referral to a specialist in this case. Your specialist was a low vision specialist?
It's a low vision specialist. I guess I haven't been to see one of those since before I came back to, but before I moved to New York City. This was like probably 1993.
Okay.
Or 4. 94 probably, just before I came to New York, like to start graduate school. So I was like, oh, maybe there's something that I need to have. Like maybe there's some sort of visual aid that like low vision, how do you call it? Devices that could help me be able to see here. And at that time I got a little teeny tiny microscope the guy showed me these glasses that you could take out that had the microscopes, the little telescopes on them. I'm not wearing that. So I got the little telescopes that I could, make sure I saw street signs or whatever, or, and funny enough, I'm just like, oh, well, let me get out my little telescope because the moon is supposed to do something tonight. So I didn't really have to use it much, and I still have it. I have a bunch of magnifiers that help me to be able to see labels, menus. But this is a good visual aid sitting right next to me, so I don't generally take out the magnifier to read the menu when I'm with my husband or like a trusted person who.
Right. Like, folks, if you see us at conventions, and we separate, we do. We'll, if I'm trying to get Rachel's attention, I will generally whistle. I mean, it is almost like echolocation because it's the easiest way, as opposed to be calling out Rach. It's a. And Rach knows my whistle, and she's like, "Oh, he's over there." It works out very well because, again, Rach has low vision, so it's distance and it's close up. Distance is not correctable, and close up. You know what the best thing is, and
my distance, like I think 150 or something.
Yeah, but the best thing, we first started dating. What was the first major gift you got from me?
A Kindle.
Because I
can make the books large.
Right. Print. I was like, you should be able to enjoy reading again. So, I'm not giving dating advice to anybody right now, but,
just get her a Kindle, man. You'll get far.
Here's part of the thing is, thoughtful gifts.
Yeah.
Could I have gotten her jewelry? Sure. She would have been impressed, maybe, depending how much I spent on it. But I get a gift that says, well, he realizes that I have a vision issue and he's taking actions and making thoughts. To me, there was no other gift to get. I was like, this is going to be literally, dare I say it? I'm going to go for the pun. What's the pun I'm going to say? Eye-opening. I'm sorry. I had to,
Okay.
All right.
But this low vision doctor also helps to, they do a lot of testing to see. It's funny, on their website they talk about your blind spots, which I thought was kind of funny. I guess it helps you understand like what your field of vision is and what what are some of the more pronounced deficits that you might have, and sort of, finding different ways of addressing them. So, it's pretty cool. So like they have more, I guess, refined tests to, better understand your visual acuity and your field of vision. So, I'll take it.
I figure I
can help.
This is to talk about our vision. I think I put on my glasses, which these are progressive lenses, which means I can see distance. If I would tilt my head up a little bit, that's when the close, my reading glasses aspect kind of kicks in. Usually when I'm on my computer, I don't need it, but I'm sitting back a little bit further. So if I want to see what's on the screen a little bit clearer, if I'm tilting my head, I'm not turning my nose up at you folks. Although those of you listening on the podcast will have no idea I'm doing that. But I just figured.
Wait, what are you doing?
I tilt my head up to get because the lower half of the glasses is for close work. So normally you're looking down. But for the computer screen, you kind of got to. So, I probably, when you think about it, you probably get a pair of like reading glasses. But getting old is not easy.
Oh. Yeah, that's part of the reason for the low vision doctor too, like sort of anticipating getting old and like possibly losing the vision that I do have. I mean, it's stable right now, but
it could deteriorate. You just want to be
it certainly can.
Ready for such and prepared for such, and take actions to either prevent, delay, or compensate, or all the above. Right? I mean, that's just part of the world. So now going deeper into the weeds, and it's not bad going deeper into the weeds, but on the Tenkar's having Discord server, we've been doing, I think for the last 3 weeks now on Tuesdays, 9 a.m. because I'm up around telling you around 8 a.m. and making breakfast, and Rach starts work at 9. So at 9 a.m., I hop onto Discord and we do a voice chat, and it's been pretty intimate. Usually about a half dozen, maybe 8 of us involved in this. No, it's usually pretty good. And now we do the same thing on Thursday nights, and Thursday nights is a bit more, I don't say rambunctious, but a lot of conversation, a lot of personalities from the gaming industry will pop in. It's a lot. It's exciting. But Tuesday mornings have been a bit more intimate and a bit more of a sharing experience with a lot of us, including myself, talking about our anxieties and other, I guess you could say, mental health issues, and it helps to share it with other people that are have similar experiences to you. I mean, am I talking to other retired or active law enforcement officers? No, but I'm talking to other gamers, and there's a certain continuity when it comes to the gaming community that we all have these similar shared experiences in our histories a lot of times, and to be able to share and talk that with people not just from the U.S. but from the other side of the world, the other side of the pond. It's good. It's refreshing. And listen, I am somebody who spent 20 years in law enforcement, putting aside a lot of stuff, a lot of issues, a lot of stress, a lot of disturbing events that I was like, I don't have time to deal with. I mean, I think I mentioned it to you. Obviously, I mentioned this to you, Rachel. I don't think I've ever said it here, but back in 97, in fall of 97, my training sergeant, who was actually became a friend of mine, was killed off duty. And it wound up that he was DWI, but he got killed with his own firearm because somebody tried to rob him, and they robbed him. They shot him in his head with his firearm. It was bad shit all around. It was bad city politics. And I was one of 6 assigned to the family as a personal honor guard. We were the 6 that carried the coffin. And basically for those 48 hours where everybody else, there were 30 of us in the field training units, 30 rookies, and the rest of the command, and everybody else was able to some extent, share their feelings. The 6 of us couldn't. I mean, I learned really early on how effective it was to take emotions at that time and bottle it and put it to the side and deal with it later. There's only one problem with that. Want to venture what that guess is, right?
It comes out in all sorts of wackadoo ways.
Well, it does, and you know what? Later doesn't necessarily come when you want it to, because the deal is when you bottle that stuff up, and listen, it's a survival mechanism. For me, when I was in law enforcement, it was needed. Okay, I'm not saying it was a good trait to have, but it was a necessary trait for me to have. But years later, and I went to many a funeral, whether it was law enforcement or family or friends, community members, and they never really affected me. I would go, and it would be, you go through the motions, and there was a distance that I would have. And then my son's mother passed. She had a brain hemorrhage, and I saw her in her casket, and I didn't see her. I didn't see Minnie. I saw Fitz, my training sergeant.
Oh, they had an open casket for her?
Yes, open casket.
Holy shit.
And it was scary. I was looking at the casket, and I saw my train, and I realized, holy, I've bottled this up for how long and never dealt with it. And now I'm dealing with the death of my training sergeant and the death of my son's mother at the same time. And then realizing, well, quickly I bottled it up again, because my son needed me.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't. I had to be strong so he wouldn't have to be as strong. And it continued. So now I've been effectively retired for over 5 years. St. Patty's Day of this year was last time I signed out and then started running my time. So officially July 18th will be my 5 years, but St. Patty's Day was effectively my 5th year. I find a lot of this stuff now seeps out. I'll watch TV. I'll see a commercial, and it's a sappy commercial. I'll be like, why am I getting teary-eyed? Because I'm dealing with emotion.
Oh, in the movies programs.
You've seen this. And it's stuff from 10.
I mean, and those things are normal for it to come out like with media and, content that would provoke it. Yeah.
But it hits me unexpectedly because you're like, why am I tearing up? Oh, you're tearing up because something that happened 15 years ago that at the time you were unable to deal with, because if you dealt with it at the time, you could not have been effective in the position you had. The first time I actually experienced that was Christmas of 2003. Christmas 2003, I was working. I was a sergeant, and I had a job. Came over the radio with an unconscious infant in housing. Christmas Day. It was near the end of tour, and I respond with my driver and the sector car assigned, and we get there, and it's on the 18th floor, and we're not walking up 18 flights of stairs, so we're waiting for the elevator to come down. And it's raining outside, and it's right at freezing, so it's icing up. And it's just one of those nasty ass days. And as the elevator doors open up, it's the foster grandmother. She had to be in her 80s. I have no idea. The infant was about 6 months old. It's a black child, purple. I mean, not making a sound, not moving. And she sees me, sees my gold sergeant shield, sees the stripes, and from about 5 or 6 feet away, threw the child at me. I mean, pretty much like, this kid's gonna die. I don't want this kid dying in my arms.
She's like, I can't handle this.
Yeah,
you're here now.
You're here. You take this child. And the child landed on my left shoulder, right here. Hard. Puked.
Good stuff.
All over my back, and sucked in his breath and started crying. Aww. And as that happened,
that was music.
EMS came in behind us, and again, I've got baby puke all down me, but the kid's sucking in breath and wah wah wah, and grandma is like, "Oh my God, thank God!" And they go EMS, take him away, and I shake hands with my cops and my driver. She goes to me, "Sarge, you okay?" I go, "Why?" She's like, "You're crying." I'm like, "I am." She's like, "Yeah, tears." And then I realized, like, I don't know, 4 years prior, I had lost a child on the job. I was literally in the ER as the child was pronounced. A job that we responded to, that we almost got into a fight with FD over getting this child out to the hospital. And we actually lost that child. And I didn't deal with it at that time. You got to go and, all right, make your report and go back on patrol. And in this case, it was like karma balanced out for me. And I didn't even realize it at the time until it was pointed out to me that I was...
Your body kept the score.
Yeah, and
that's why the crying.
Right.
So when we experience traumatic events and things like that, we usually think, oh, it's all it's all in our mind and whatever, but it gets captured in different parts of your body also. And so That's why people experience, different types of pain, or, the crying that you had no idea was happening until someone pointed it out to you.
So, and part of the reason why I'm talking about this now, again, I am retired, but you don't stop. I think just like you don't stop being a gamer if you're away from gaming for 10 years, it's still part of your DNA. You don't stop being a cop or in law enforcement just because you retire. And the NYPD, we lost somebody last week. A highway officer got hit by a drunk driver.
Yeah. Ooh.
But not only that, we also had a suicide. And as such, I'm going to put up a banner for those of you watching this at home. Wrong phone number, sorry. The suicide hotline, if you're within the States, it's 800-273-8255. 800-273-8255. Listen, nothing is worth taking your life over. So
very permanent decision for impermanent situations.
You can call this line. Somebody will talk with you. If you are feeling like you need to talk to somebody, you're not looking like you are thinking about taking drastic actions right now, you can call our voicemail, 347-509-5168. If you just need to vent, we listen to everything. If you want us to call you back, say, please call me back, I will call you back. I'm not calling you back as a medical professional. I'm not calling you back as a therapist. I'm calling you back as a friend.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? A lot of times, that's all we need. Okay? You're not alone. It might feel like it. It might seem like it.
And just because someone reaches out to a suicide hotline doesn't mean that EMS is going to be at your door in the next 5-10 minutes. It just means that, you're having these thoughts. You realize that, okay, this is a serious crisis. This is a serious medical issue that I need to respond to. And that there are people that will be able to respond with me.
Right.
Sure, in the nth degree, EMS could be called if you are, a risk to yourself or other people. There's a gamut in terms of how people experience suicidal thoughts and intentions. There's a certain system of levels, and the threat that they pose to themselves. There are people that can think about it but don't ever get to the planning stage. Some people get to the planning stage but not to the doing stage. But the fact that you're having it is a crisis, and it's a serious medical problem that needs to be addressed.
There's no shame in reaching out for help. Actually, you should take pride in the ability to reach out and ask for help. It takes a certain amount of strength to be able to admit that and say that, and say, I'm not strong enough to handle this on my own. My old partner, as I was leaving the job, Marissa, her brother was committed suicide years before. It wasn't a cop. Committed suicide, and it still affects her every year on Facebook. Still. Suicide leaves behind victims, and they're unintentional victims. All right, you will scar your friends, your family. Not something that you need to do or that you want to do. So please, reach out. People are there. People care. Okay, nothing is worth becoming nothing. Really. So that's why I wanted to say this for the end. They didn't want. If we came in with this in the beginning, you'd be like, oh, where can they go from now? Listen, you always have to be able to smile and make light of stuff. I guess maybe that's a bit of the cop attitude in me.
The gallows humor.
Oh God, we always had gallows humor. And if you ever hear me tell my cop stories, I tell true stories. Don't get me wrong. but I will certainly, and I don't embellish them, but I tell the ones that in retrospect are usually the most bizarrely, outworldly, over the top. This really happened? Yes, that really happened. Yes, somebody lost their foot in a car accident and had no idea. Yes, I almost shot somebody who claimed that they were taking a shit on a rooftop. Yes, I rode a bicycle down a hill and had my van pull up and goes, "Hey there, crackhead, we took the bike off. Is it you bring back to station house?" I'm like, yeah. He says it has no brakes. I'm like, oh, that's wonderful. Yes, I did wreck at the end. Wasn't pleasant. But all these are things that I can still laugh about 20 years later, that in my darkest moments are able to bring me out. So, listen, folks, we are still in that world of COVID, but we're opening up. All right. Now, if you've got your shots, you can go outside and not be hidden behind a mask. You can actually smile at people.
You can walk your dog and not have to wear a mask.
Right, and that's just it. Exercise includes walking, and you walk everywhere, or even to your car. And if you're immunized, you don't have to wear a mask. So when we went to our local pub, it was no mask. Oh, walking in, put the mask on, signed in, sit down, take the mask off. Don't even ask. I can't even.
It's just what we have to do in our state, city.
Right.
Yeah.
But
I'm sure they have the same.
Yeah. Listen, we're not medical professionals. We're not telling you get vaccinated. All right. I am. Rach is. My parents are. My sister is. But you have to make your decisions based upon your risk factors, your situation. We're not living that. You're living that. Okay. You know your situation better than anybody else. But just make common sense decisions, okay? Because you're looking to protect your health, the health of others. Common sense decisions go truly, truly far. Right?
They do.
Do we miss anything today?
I don't think so. We covered a lot of ground.
We did cover a lot of ground. I hope it wasn't whacking you too heavily over the head. Again, folks, the suicide hotline number is 800-273-8255. The voicemail for the show is 347-509-5168. Like I said, if it's a crisis, you call the suicide hotline. If you need to vent, if you need to talk, you can call us. I will call you back. Okay? Might not be right away because I might not see it right away. Google doesn't always tell me when the messages come in. But we will listen. And if you want us to, we will call you back. Folks, as always, be safe, be well. Honestly, God bless. All right? I truly mean that. Things are hopefully going to be returning to some kind of normality. But I don't even know if the new normality will be anything like our old normality. But one can pray and hope. Roll your dice. Roll them well. And I know I'm pissing somebody off when I do this, but you ready for it? I'm knocking on wood. I'll be back again with you all tomorrow. Next Wednesday will be the next live stream, 8 p.m. Eastern. Myself, Bad Mike, and another special guest from North Texas RPG Con. I will name them later in the week. All right, folks. Thank you as always.
Thank you.